Okay, did it actually go live? It did, okay. What up, Willie? We bright enough? We are, okay. Hold on, boys. The scent bubble. Sorry guys, I'm working with a dual setup now, so I just need to see something. Okay, so maybe something like this. Hold on, let me check this out. You guys kind of prefer that type of setup. So we'll go there with it. Let me get some lights, one more light for us, and we will get cracking. How's the mic sounding, guys? I'm set up wirelessly now. Give me a mic check. Mic check 1, 2, are we good? Sounds nice, very crisp and clean. Cool, dope, appreciate you guys. I might go back to a one camera setup, but I just wanted to try this out. We're definitely switching over to the new mic system, but I wanted to see what it was like to have my questions on a separate phone. Well, what y'all sent of the day today? And let me know where you're tuning in from. 0 background noise, dope. Okay, so did y'all see the post I made recently? What's nice is like I could walk off camera and still be completely, you know, it'll sound like I'm right up on the camera. So what's dope is we just made this post today. So Goldfield and Banks Pacific Rock Moss, I got a 12 pack of them. So this will be going in the giveaway as well. A lot of y'all know, like, as we approach each 1,000 subscriber milestone, I like to, it usually takes a couple of months to get to 1,000 new followers. So I collect stuff along the way. And this was one of the latest things. So I'm gonna take this 12 piece, bust it down, and throw a couple in each of the new giveaways. And I'm gonna try to go 100% niche for the next giveaway. I think that'll really kind of put the fragrance community in a frenzy. And for people who've always asked, like, you know, with all this setup and everything, how do you pick fragrances? Well, if you notice, the fragrances on this side, which you guys can't fully see, this is my fragrance library, and it's divided by like season, niche, clone, vintage, designer, even a women's section. And that stays shut, you know, so typically this will be shut. And during my regular week, we have this setup right here, which includes like my weekly rotation. Now, even here, you got about 50 to 100 fragrances on my weekly rotation setup. But what's nice about this is I have a fragrance tray, which you guys don't get to see, but I take certain selections from my monthly rotation and put them on the fragrance tray. So each week I have a very limited, like 10 fragrance or less set of fragrances sitting on the tray over on my main desk, which I'll show you guys right here. This is my presentation desk, and that tray will serve me for the week. Now, this is kind of the production setup for the week where I do all my editing and everything. But yeah, so the collection isn't as overwhelming as you'd think. It works out just fine. And what's nice about this is I can zoom out and get this entire collection, which is only like probably a third to half of my collection. So you guys can see that. And I can stand further back and still sound good with the mic, so you guys don't hear any more room stuff anymore. Kicks, what up? Joel, what up? Willie, what up? Jamel, what up? Jow, what up? Okay, so yeah, start loading your questions in the queue, guys. I got the chat pulled up, and we're going to answer questions as they come. Y'all know this is a fragrance Q&A, so we're just going to answer some questions tonight, see how long it lasts. I did get a new cell phone, so that's what allows me to kind of double up right now. How many colognes do you have? Hundreds. You guys, even this library and this probably only represents about half of my collection. So double what you see. I feel like Xerjoff screwed me. I bought a fragrance 5 years ago and have not heard anything at all about preparing or delivery. Oh gosh. Hey, if you're still wondering about a fragrance you bought 5 years ago from Xerjoff, you dropped the ball somewhere in there. You either didn't get your refund or, you know, you didn't talk to the right people. And I highly doubt that because I know the rep from Xerjoff, and they don't play like that. So you must have bought it, you know, third party, or that story is just not even true. Favorite blue fragrance? I have a couple that I rock. So we've got our Acqua di Parmas, right? A lot of those are blue, especially the blue line, you know, the orange one, the Bergamoto, the Fico di Amalfi, which, you know, I have all those. You know, great fragrance, but like my go-to blue, if you've been watching me at all on this channel, is easily, without question, a tie between Casa Marati Mephisto and Blue Talisman, which is right here. So those are great. Those are really great. But, you know, I have a lot of blues. You know, we have Dylan Blue, we have Oceania, which is somewhat of a blue. Aqua Media Cologne Forte, which is somewhat of a green blue. Dylan Blue. Nautica Voyage. You know, we've got the basic stuff. But, like, in terms of niche, I'm rocking Fico di Amalfi, Mephisto, Talisman for my blues. I even consider Eros a blue, even though it's not really aquatic or anything like that. I still consider it a blue fragrance. Kicks with the donation, man. Great upgrade, bro. Thank you, man. Hey, shout out to Kicks Griffey, man. Y'all know he's my right-hand man, so if you don't follow him yet, make sure y'all get into that. Great content. Great content from the brother. I like men's cologne. My favorites are Paco Rabanne, Dracar. My favorites are the colognes that smell like soap. Are there any brands today that smell clean and like soap? Yeah, absolutely. If you know, starting from top to bottom from the Xerjoff lineup, you have fragrances like Lua, Starlight, You have fragrances in Creed, such as Green Irish Tweed, such as Silver Mountain Water, such as even Viking Cologne is very soapy, barbershop-ish. You have Original Vetiver from Creed. You have even fragrances from like Bond Number 9. PDM, you have Castley, Greenlee, somewhat soapy, but what else? On Tom Ford's side, you have your Neroli Portofino type fragrances. MFK, you've got your Masculine Plurel, your B629 or whatever, your Amorous. You know, you got a lot of soapy fragrances. Designer, you've got Lalique White, you've got Lin Sumi, you've got Dylan Blue, you've got CK, Calvin Klein CK1, CK Everyone EDP. You have Versace Pour Homme. You have Coach Blue, Coach Green. Those aren't really soapy. Coach for Men is more clean, soapy-ish, but it's not really a soap fragrance. It's more like a complex, fresh, out of the shower scent, which I put in the same category. It's like fancy soap. You have a lot to choose from, man. Let's see. I keep getting these ads showing up. Where does Xerjoff Wardacina rank out of all the tobacco rose fragrances? You know, that was my mom's fragrance. My mom acquires bottles all kind of different ways, and she didn't like it, so she gave it to me. So that wasn't a purchase from from my category, from my own doing. Some fragrances I acquire, and some are more blind buy, just due to the nature of knowing so many people in perfumery. Sometimes if I come across a good deal, or I have a lot of friends and family that either get rid of bottles or trade and stuff. Some people in my family even store bottles here. But that Xerjoff in particular, my mom said, hey, I got this, I don't like it. My mom blind buys every fragrance, so I just acquired it. But I think in terms of ranking it, it's pretty low when you think about tobacco roses, but it's still really good. It's still really good. Maybe might make a top 10, definitely not a top 5. It says 5 days ago. Interesting. Have you tried Xerjoff Italica? If so, do you like it? No. The fragrances I have from Xerjoff is Mephisto, Mephisto Gentiluomo. I have Lyra. I have Apollonia. I have Lua. I have Herba Gold. Really like that one. I mean, Xerjoff's bag is just so deep. I can't wait to go into that house this year. This year, we're going to do an official power ranking of Xerjoff. I have Kobe. I have what's the other one like Kobe? I've tried a lot of them, though. I've tried the Naxos, the Torinos, the 40 knots, you know, all the typical Herba Pura. I have Herba Pura as well. In your last live, you recommended Gucci Guilty Elixir. I was able to get some. Easily one of my favorites now. Hey, Vinny, thank you for the feedback, man. I try to tell people all the time, I do not recommend fragrances unless I think they are worth your purchase and beyond. I will never give you guys a middle-of-the-road fragrance to buy. If I tell you, hey, you should check this out, it's because it is S tier. And I don't care whether I'm talking about clones, inspirations, designers, niche, independents. I'm not going to tell you about something unless it is on my shelf, I have thorough experience with it, and strongly feel like it would add to your collection. I do not recommend mid-tier stuff. Thank you, Kick, so much for the dono. Yeah, hit that like button. It really filters out the trolls when you hit the like button, the 3 dots on the top left or top right of your screen. You hit the 3 dots, it pulls a drop down. Also, I think you can double tap the screen right in the middle of the live and it should like the video as well. So run those likes up and it'll definitely help me out, filter out and make sure there's only fragrance heads in here and not any kind of randoms. I heard that spraying fragrance on the neck and skin is harmful to your hormones and health. Is that true? Yes, it can be, absolutely. Especially now with the rise in clones, dupes, and inspireds that don't necessarily play it the most optimal. I think here's the hard part about where do you spray your fragrance, right? There's some fragrances that you will get a reaction to. They'll either make your skin itchy or make your breathing funny, or you can have fragrances that kind of go deep within your skin and kind of damage things like your thyroid gland, which sits right behind your Adam's apple and stuff like that. So if you have skin sensitivity issues or a history of that, I strongly advise that you never spray around the neckline at all. You know, the pulse points up here are in your collar area, behind the neck, sometimes behind the ear and things like that. So if you have a skin sensitivity issue, I highly recommend that you avoid all the pulse points and areas around your head and especially around your neck. Don't spray your neck because the thyroid gland, despite your sensitivity, will always be affected by fragrance. So if you for sure have a skin sensitivity to fragrance, definitely spray on clothes and not on skin, and spray further down from the chest area, maybe along the arms and below the chest. That way you don't catch daily wafts as strong of the fragrance, and so therefore it doesn't soak into your skin, you're not ingesting it as much, and it's a much lighter approach. Some people don't have any reactions to fragrance, and so it's kind of like, for me, there's certain fragrances that I could smell and they give me a headache. You know, listen to your body, listen to your skin. There's going to be some fragrances you can pack all over you and you don't notice it. General rule of thumb is if you're messing with niche perfumery or designer perfumery, they're going to be more heavily regulated and care about being regulated. So you can play it safer with those and be a little bit more lenient in terms of spraying it on skin and stuff like that. The lower down you go, the more independent niche, the more clone, dupe, and inspired and stuff like that. I tend to like to spray those on clothes as opposed to skin, because it just feels right. But I'm always listening to my body in that midst, and I'm always trying to not ever really spray the actual neck, because the thyroid gland is oftentimes one of those things where you don't know it's being affected, and it could be really being affected. What up, SB? My boys ran it up, so I'm in a good mood. Beautiful. Yeah, hey, listen, my son played his first like really competitive soccer today, and man, they won all 3 games, but man, they gave it to him, man. So I'm gearing up for soccer season. I heard that, let's see, I'm not normally a fougere guy, but I got the opportunity to get my nose on Initio's Rehab today, and I really enjoyed it. Are there any fougères similar to that that you would recommend? Actually, give me a second. What's great is now, like when I'm walking around my room, you guys can still fully hear me as if I was right in front of the screen. I think I have Rehab in this box of decants. I haven't smelled Rehab in a while, so I may need to reapply that to give you an assessment. Because I can tell you a lot of fougères, but if you're specifically wanting something in the realm of Rehab, ideally I'd like to smell it. So here's High Frequency, here's Psychedelic Love. I think Rehab's somewhere in here. I have so many samples, guys, it's ridiculous. So many new samples that I haven't reviewed. I might have to look up the notes. Hold on a second, guys. Actually, I don't even think I have to do much anymore to look this up. Let me Fragrantica Rehab. So powdery, musky. Let me see the notes on it. Lavender, bergamot, cedar, sandalwood, musk, gaiac wood. Yeah, so there's a lot of fougères that I could recommend in the niche category. Viking Cologne would be one of them. Roja Dove has a lot of great modern fougères that are, even though they don't smell exactly like Rehab, they follow a similar format. Dealing with kind of musks and woods and moss and lavender and aromatics. So if we're specifically talking about niche, I would point you to things like Viking Cologne, Roja Dove's Parfum Cologne series, so Scandal, Danger. I would highly recommend Danger from Roja Dove. Try that first and then move to Viking Cologne and then move to, sorry, I'm super indigestion today. Another series you should walk through is Creed's Royal Oud or Creed's Bois de Portugal. Those would be great niche starts for you getting into fougère, if in terms of niche. If I buy Xerjoff online, will it come from Italy? Depends. If you get it directly from Xerjoff, oftentimes you're going to get your fragrance from an American dealer that is a licensed dealer of Xerjoff. You may get it from Italy, but oftentimes that's not going to be the case because otherwise you would know, because you're going to get charged an arm and a leg in shipping. Same thing with like Ormond Jane. They're based out of the United Kingdom. If you had to pay for shipping from the United Kingdom, it would be insane. So Ormond Jane as well as Xerjoff have American dealers where you would get their fragrances. So they would have some sort of USA warehouse that would send to you that specifically licensed deals through, Xerjoff products. Xerjoff's not a brand that only ships out of Italy. Hey, what's going on, brother? Speaking of Xerjoff, someone might be in the chat. Hey, I would love to get you on sometime, Rav. We need to speak. What would you say are some really good, fresh, long-lasting summer colognes? Are we talking about clone dupe inspired, designer niche, independent niche? Let me know what your price point is, what your age is, and give me info. I don't like to generally recommend stuff because everybody's a different age, everybody's summers look different. Like I live in Arizona and I'm in LA as well. So the summers are extremely hot, 100+ degrees, like 8 months out of the year. So my summer fragrances are gonna look different than somebody's summer fragrance who lives in Pittsburgh. Do you happen to know what the best hibiscus mahajed clone would be? I haven't seen anything in the marketplace that claims to be a clone of it, though I do believe a clone was recently created from the house of Arabiat Prestige. So Google Arabiat Prestige clone of the hibiscus fragrance and check it out. But I also highly recommend that you try the OG because with that fragrance, you're gonna want the higher end ingredients from the real thing as much as possible. Now, Arabiat Prestige does work with really good raw materials, but they're not going to be as good as the direct from brand who has proprietaries on very specific ingredients they use to make that fragrance. We have a disclaimer at the top of our website stating that any order placed from December 27th from January 7th will be shipped on January 12th. Well, there you go. There you go. That's what I love about the community, man. It's like, you guys know that the only reason I do these Q&As is from start to finish once questions start. Once everybody finishes their questions, I get the heck out of here because I'm just doing it for you guys. But my community is so intimate, I always love it because a lot of people who have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 subs, they don't have a super active, thriving community. I feel like all 4,000 of my community is super active. And so there's always a ton of people in chat who can help me as I'm getting caught up with the questions. You suggested Grandmaster from Mind Games, and I liked it. It's on the way. Interested, it's interesting. Would you say it plays Dior Homme Intense or Dior Homme Parfum role, or is it a 4-season frag? I mean, it depends, because even if you have a fragrance that leans fall winter, you can always dial down on the sprays, and you can always layer with something lighter and go more of a 2-to-1 ratio, with the heavier fragrance being just 1 or 2 sprays and then spray around it. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Grandmaster is easily fall winter, but I think you can knock down the sprays and kind of dilute it down. You know, obviously wear what you want, but general rule of thumb, I would go with that. I'm looking for the smell of 80s bubble stickers. What is a bubble sticker? I don't know what that is, Joe. I'm a competitive hockey player. What are some good colognes to show up at the rink wearing? This one right here. Ralph Lauren's Safari, one of the most timeless fougères possible. This would go great on the ice in cool weather, or you can also wear an icy fragrance. Just picked this one up recently. I've been wanting to snag this up. Amouage's Enclave. This is a beautiful icy spearmint kind of scent, tiniest bit of smoke. It's intimate fall winter, but has this crazy ice push with spearmint, and that on the ice rink would be S tier. You know what I'm saying? 2 sprays, 1 in the front, 1 in the back. Do not overspray that fragrance. That is a 3-spray killer. But you rock some Enclave on the ice, you're gonna get mad love. But other than that, if I'm on the ice, you know, my brother played hockey. I had a lot of friends that played hockey. I would typically rock fougères on the ice, because as that air is pushing through you and you're getting ice hockey gear is some of the smelliest gear I've ever smelled. You know, a dude who played hockey throws his hockey gear in the car. That stuff reeks. So typically I'm leaning towards fougères. What else? Yo, what's up? Hope you're doing good. What up, Ella? Looking for a day-to-day perfume similar to Lacoste Noir with a lot of bergamot. I mean, it depends on your price point. I recommend a lot of things. The Bergamoto from Aqua de Parma. Honestly, if you want great bergamot scents, I highly discourage designers because of the quality of the bergamot. And with niche bergamot, you really have to be careful, because bergamot is kind of like a lifter note. So a lot of times when fragrances say they have bergamot in it, sometimes you don't even smell the bergamot, because it's listed, but it's more so lifting other elements in a fragrance. I absolutely love Day 3's Desert Rain. Has a beautiful bergamot top with a lot of aromatics and the petrichor rain accord. It was supposed to capture the smell of rain. But in terms of bergamot and citrus that feels more, you know, Italian, French, European, all that stuff, I think Aqua de Parma is a beautiful line to start with, whether you go with the blue line or some of the Colonia lines. This fragrance right here is an absolute sleeper to me. It's extremely simple, but it's amazing. You know, women love 2 things, you know, a man that smells extremely fresh, and oftentimes a man who smells somewhat sweet. There are women who love the fougere and the alpha male and all that stuff, but generally when you look at like fragrance battles on the street and stuff like that, the fragrances women typically tend to gravitate towards is fragrances with some good sweetness and fragrances that are super fresh, and then a hybrid of the 2. I'm surprised how high the compliment factor is with Colonia Pura from Aqua de Parma. It is one of the most simple kind of cleaning spray type of fragrances, where it's just like this super musky, fresh fragrance, but it's exactly that why it has such a high compliment factor. Like, just the idea of smelling expensively fresh is simple enough for a woman to resonate with. So Colonia Pura blows my mind how high the compliment factor is with this, and I love how much you can layer. So you can layer any kind of fruits, any kind of citruses, any kind of aromatics, any kind of woods with a fragrance like this, and I highly feel like a lot of you guys have probably a ton of fragrances in your collection that are worthy of experimenting with layering. So yeah, mess with Aqua de Parma. You can get your bang for buck in terms of freshness. We have a USA distributor. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, Rav. What's your thoughts on Amouage Decisions? Beautiful fragrance, beautiful fragrance. What are some of your favorite tropical fragrances? I was lucky enough to get a decant of Zaharoff Coco Loco from a friend, and I also got Virgin Island water, and I'm really enjoying both. Virgin Island water is beautiful. It's a beautiful fragrance. A lot of people complain about the performance, and I understand that, because for the price tag, you want to at least get 6 hours plus from that fragrance, and that fragrance is dead after about 2 hours. So right now, Rayhan Aquatica, I believe. If I said that wrong, any of my mods in chat, please clarify and put the correct Rayhan fragrance, but I do believe it's Rayhan Aquatica. One of the new Rayhans is a very good rendition of Virgin Island water with a slightly bit more decent performance with that. Some of my favorites, I mean, obviously your typical go-tos, I think in terms of, I don't really call them vacation scents or tropical scents. I just refer to them as hotel fragrances. You know, if you were on a 5-star hotel in Hawaii sitting on the balcony, what would you want to wear? I would want to wear anything from Acqua di Parma. Xerjoff has some beautiful selections. You know, things from the Torino line, the Herba Pura, the Herba Gold, the Lua, the Starlights. Now, again, my tropical is not just coconuts and sunscreen. My tropical is fruits, florals, airiness, wetness, things like that. Things like Initio's Musk Therapy, something just extremely musky. Colonia Pura, Fico di Amalfi, the Bergamoto line from Acqua di Parma, you know, the Neroli Portofinos, the, you know, the Silver Mountain Waters, the Millesime Imperials. I think Chanel Private line does very well in kind of a 5-star setting because of the aldehydics and musks and unisexness of them. Bond number 9 does really well in those type of settings as well. A lot of your you know, your Lafayette's, your Greenwich Villages, your Tribecas, your New York Flowers. There's a lot of vacation stuff I would have. Gentile Uomo from Xerjoff, I think is one of the best. People don't call it a blue. I call it a blue. Mephisto to me is a blue fragrance. Gentile Uomo, you know, if you guys want to compare it to Silver Mountain Water all day long, I think it's way better. I think that's an insult to Gentile Uomo. It's way better to me. It's got more dimension. You know, sometimes I just have to look at my collection. Vodka on the Rocks is a beautiful hotel scent. Any of the Jean Paul Gaultier, Les Parfums, Ultramall, Eros is a beautiful one on the beach. Even Mancera's has some beautiful ones. Jardin Exclusive, Pearl, French Riviera. What are some? Paradise Garden is beautiful hotel vibes. Goldfield and Banks has a lot of beautiful hotel scents that I would rock. Pacific Rock Moss, Ingenious Ginger. There was another line that I was just thinking of that has great tropical type stuff. Oh, is it slipping from my mind? City Rhythms has great tropical scents. If you're into Zaharoff, you know, if you liked Coco Loco, you know, pivot over to Sunkiss Island from TLTG. I mean, there's just so many great choices. My age is 24. I love to have the scent that is fresh, uplifting, subtle sweetness, good performance. That's meant for dates, special occasions, and outings. The perfume be designer or niche. Fresh, uplifting, subtle sweetness. I think some go-tos that come to my mind is Gentleman Boisé from Givenchy, Eros Blue EDT from Versace, Valentino Uomo Intense. Beautiful, soft iris, rain, airy, lavender, sickly good. Yeah, Gentleman Boisé, Valentino Uomo, even Born in Roma is, you know, as much as people dish it, it's really solid. What else? Yeah, bro, I'm going to push you towards Valentino Uomo Intense for what you're talking, because that is just soft sweetness, but robust sweetness. You got the softness from florals. It's unisex, slight masculine lean, super versatile, breakfast, lunch, dinner type fragrance. It can be intimate. It can be fresh. Try Valentino Uomo Intense. You'll absolutely love it, especially at 24 years old. If you want a softer version of it, you can just go Valentino Uomo, ignore the Intense, but the Intense is obviously going to have that 8 hours of performance. You know, getting the EDT might only get you in the 6 range. Yo, what up, SB? What up, Mike? Aquatica is supposed to be reminiscent of a vintage Virgin Island water. You know, speaking of which, I totally left out Roja. I mean, you have Isola Soul, you have Isola Blue. You know, I rock Isola Soul, but most people rock Isola Blue. You have, I mean, there's so many beautiful scents. Ex Nihilo, you have Talisman, you have Fleur Narcotique, beautiful scent. Flores has some beautiful scents. They're a little more vintage to me. I mean, there's just so many good ones, guys. Parfums de Marly has a ton of them. They compared Mephisto to Silver. Oh, I got to the bottom of the list. Beautiful. I'm looking for a less sweet tobacco-forward fragrance. Any suggestions? Yeah. Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir, Naxos, Initio's Blessed Baraka, as well as Absolute Aphrodisiac. Even though I don't think that has tobacco, it's still really good. Lalique's Ombre Noir, all beautiful tobacco scents. There was a fragrance I just tried recently that was such a beautiful cigar wrapped style fragrance. I'll get back to you. Copy paste that question in the comments section. They compared Mephisto with Silver Mountain Water. Mephisto Gentile Uomo was made for our barbershop line, but sadly discontinued that line. We kept the cologne. Yeah, you know, it's funny. Most content creators suggest Gentile Uomo as the better fragrance, but I actually fight back against that. I prefer original OG Mephisto. And I love Gentile Uomo as well. Have it, love it. They're close enough to me to where I won't really discuss the nuances of the two until later, but a lot of people seem to feel it's juicier. They're both amazing. I just think they're so slept on. I really feel like in the fresh, dumb reach daily wear, Mephisto does not get nearly enough love as it should. Got decants of Signature Royale, Triple X, and Signature Pour Homme from Zaharoff. Have you tried them? And what do I expect? Also thoughts on Halfeti Rose and Tobacco. Halfeti is beautiful. Yeah, Halfeti is oof, S tier juice for sure. What was the other one you asked about? So I got there's a bunch of discovery sets back here in the collection that I need to, guys, I still haven't got through all this. And, you know, I was counting the other day, just in decants from houses, it's in the 200s right now. I drop 2 videos every single day. And that's just long form. Short form, I drop 2 to 4 videos. We do lives, we do posts galore. I have probably over 150 to 200 bottles that I have yet to review. And it's not because I don't want to. I do like 10 to 20 reviews a week. I'm locked into this fragrance stuff so heavy, and you guys know this because I post more than Gent Scents. I am probably the most active poster in FragCom. And this is real spit. I record multiple reviews every single day. I drop 2 to 3 long form content every single day. I drop 2 to 4 shorts every single day. Community posts 3 to 5 a day. Lives 2 to 3 a week. And the only reason I go light on that is because I want you guys to miss me. You know, this is like your direct access to me. But I say all that to say this. I have a lot of stuff I want to show you guys, but there aren't enough hours in a day. You know, so for instance, I got this beautiful, shout outs to the Fragrance Apprentice. Great friend of mine got me this beautiful Fragrance Apprentice curated batch from Zaharoff. Zaharoff is a house that I've smelled a good amount of fragrances, maybe like 6 from the house, which is nothing because the house is enormous, just like my relationship with Xerjoff. I've tried like 12 fragrances from Xerjoff. Their line is just enormous, which is why I haven't gone deep into it, because I feel like houses like Zaharoff and Xerjoff and even like Chanel's private line and stuff like that, these houses are so big, I don't want to try a few fragrances and preconceive my judgments about the brand, especially when they have creative pieces. I was just saying this the other day, my first Xerjoff introduction was Apollonia. When you have conceptual pieces like that, I don't want to just try a couple of fragrances from your line. If we're talking about Mancera or something like that, I can try fragrances here and there and eventually get through the entire line. Electimus, you know, shout outs to Shannon, you know, sent me this 20-piece set from Electimus. And so we're going to cover a good majority of the Electimus line. I know a lot of you guys feel like this is a clone house, maybe, maybe not. I'll be the one to determine that. But like, we could fly through that line and get a good sense of the brand. But I don't like to attack a lot of the more conceptual, artistic brands, you know, with some pieces at a time. I like to, if I'm going to do a Xerjoff dive, we're going to dive all the way in. We're going to try everything. And I want to really understand the brand, the voice, the fragrance line, the depth, the diversity, and actually present the house to you guys in its full splendor and light. Not as if, oh, these are the top tiers you should get from the brand. You can't really treat houses like that. So same with Zaharoff. Like, I have this beautiful set with Signature Pour Homme and the Rose fragrance and the new Ibere, and shout outs to Kicks. I have the new Zed Creator 3. So we have all those, and I need to review those for you guys. You know, so there's some great tobaccos in here. But I'm not there yet, and I'm not gonna, despite how much content I record and create for you guys, I do not rush. I take my time. If I do a review, I've worn the fragrance several times before I even do my initial impressions live with you guys. I'm working hard to create a lot of consistent content, but I'm not working hard to just churn out content. It has to be quality, it has to be thoughtful, it has to be thorough, and it has to be helpful. And it has to be honest as humanly possible, so that you guys who are trusting my nose know that if I say something, I mean it. I'm not being paid to do it. I'm not doing it for content's sake. It's not just to grow followers. And because of that, I have a certain process for how I do stuff, and I'm still able to outwork a lot of your favorite content creators in terms of how much content I'm able to churn out, but there's still a process. So stuff like the Electimus line, a lot of the Xerjoffs that I have, a lot of the new bottles I've acquired, a lot of my vintage, and giant boxes of decants like this still get thoroughly gone through. And also, when it comes to the decant situation, a lot of the decants I run through wind up being in the giveaway box. I have a giveaway box. You guys wonder, SB, how are you giving away 20, 30 fragrances for your giveaways? Well, because if I'm not wearing stuff often enough, I put it in my giveaway box so you guys can actually enjoy it. So that's why we're able to do a lot of stuff here. As somebody who owns Valentino Uomo Intense at 24, I can agree. It is my favorite iris fragrance I've ever tried. Super classy, yet easy to wear. Definitely recommend. Hey, don't listen to me. Listen to my community. I'm 16 and looking for a good, fresh, summery spring cologne, Oklahoma and Texas. So quite a bit humid and hot. Yeah, I think some great go-tos are easily going to be like citrus, vetiver-based fragrances, fruit fragrances. So for me, what's your age? 16? Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with something like Eros Blue Bottle EDT. I mean, this fragrance easily going to be super versatile for you in that climate. Gucci Guilty Love Edition, super fresh. Mont Blanc Presence, go to your local Burlington, pick that up for 15 bucks. I think this is highly slept on. We did a memoir on this. You know, your Dylan Blues, your YSL Myselfs. If you want to start to get into niche as a 16-year-old, but you don't want it to break the bank, I would mess with Acqua di Parma, a great fragrance you can get today. Actually, scratch that. If you've got some balls on you, excuse my French, go pick this one up. Aqua Allegoria Forte Nerolia Vetiver from Guerlain. You can get this for somewhere between 70 to 100 bucks, 120 ml, and this is one of the best, I don't care where you live, this is one of the best everyday wears possible. You feel classy, it lasts forever, it's so easy on the nose, it's got a ton of depth and complexity, it's super duper fresh, yet for a fresh fragrance, it has all the personality in the world to be a super duper signature scent. Nobody around you will have this on. Nobody. And the sillage on this is dreamlike. I know you're only 16, but man, go online and find this for 70 to 100 bucks. I think I got mine for 60, just an absolute steal during the holidays. But this is one of the best fragrances on my shelf, no question. Anyone out there right now, go find your best everyday dumb reach fragrance and put it against this. From designer to niche, I don't care. Vintage, clones, all that. Get all your daily grabs and put it against this one. And I guarantee you, this will dethrone just about everything. It makes you feel super uplifted and in a beautiful mood. It's angelic. It's got enough balls under it to be masculine. It's soft, and it's one of the most freshest fragrances you'll ever smell. It truly is a combination of a lot of the vibe that you get from Acqua di Parma, but it has that fancy schmanciness from Guerlain that they're known for. And then the fruity element, I think they use fig leaf and fig, neroli, vetiver. If you know me and you know my channel, I've tried to get you guys to get into it. Make sure you get Aqua Allegoria Forte, though. Forte is their eau de parfum concentration. Otherwise, you're gonna get EDT. The EDT is amazing as well, but as a 16-year-old, I know that performance matters. You want a fragrance that you're not gonna be sitting in class for a couple of hours and then it's completely gone. You want a fragrance you could put on, still smell it on yourself in the afternoon, and really go the distance. Any Creed Viking alternatives? Yeah, so Bois de Portugal from Creed is awesome, but you don't have to have it. To me, the closest thing to Bois de Portugal is this designer fragrance right here, La Lique Pour Homme Lion. You can get this for about 20 bucks, 100 ml, and it smells extremely, and I mean extremely close to Bois de Portugal. I have the OG on my Decant shelf, and this is very close. If you want more of a young guy feel to the Bois de Portugal DNA, because that DNA is timeless, but I feel like only people 30 and up should really rock Bois de Portugal or even Royal Oud from Creed. If you want a more fresh take on that, and little guys out there, I mean 25 and down, take notes here, go with Mercedes-Benz Intense. Go to Burlington, Ross, TJ Maxx, pick up Mercedes-Benz Intense. That one is just like this, but way more modern feeling. Young CEO vibes, super fresh, super masculine, super versatile. This one is gonna feel more of your older man, 30 plus vibes, which to me, Bois de Portugal smells like a grown man's type of fragrance. It's still super fresh, but it has more of the aromatics and true classic fougere elements that a lot of people would identify as being old school. Mercedes-Benz Intense doesn't feel old school at all. So this is like grandpa and your dad, and Mercedes-Benz Intense is his son, you know? So yeah, those are alternatives that are extremely affordable in the marketplace today, and I would highly recommend them, no question, if that's the DNA you're going for. Now, if you want something a little more bright, way more bright, that can compete with, you know, your Dylan Blues, your Mont Blanc Legend Spirits, your Versace Pour Hommes, your Dolce & Gabbana Light Blues, your Dolce & Gabbana Forevers and stuff like that, I highly recommend. I think this is one of the most slept on affordable designers of all time. It punches extremely niche. Lalique White. Everything you love about the various kinds of fresh dumb reach fragrances. You like a fragrance that smells like you just got out of the shower. You like a linen white fragrance. You like a soapy fragrance. You like a fresh musky fragrance. You like a citric fragrance. You like a vetiver earthy aromatic fragrance. You like a spiced fragrance. This has all of those in one, and that is really hard to do for a dumb reach. Normally when you have a dumb reach fragrance, you'll get a citrus fragrance, or you'll get a woody fragrance, or you'll get a showery fragrance, or a blue shower jelly fragrance, or a green fragrance. They're isolated. Sometimes they might have two of the styles in one, but never all of them. This fragrance right here is citric. It's slightly peppery, but extremely fresh. Peppery does not mean old manish here. Any age can rock this, truly. It's the freshest thing you're gonna smell. It's got the fresh cut grassiness, it's got a little bit of woodiness, it's got a ton of citrus, it's got tamarind in it, it's got the floral linen soap vibe to it, but so modern. The way I'm describing it makes it feel kind of old school or soapy or fougere. This is super modern fougere to me in the most freshest way possible, and it's so signature, it's sick. $20 to get you 100 ml. I think this is one of the most slept on fragrances of all time. You will love this, and you will wear it every day, and you can bomb your body with this. I'm talking 10, 15 sprays, go outside and be the man. If I ever did a video called The Freshest Fragrances of All Time, that would be in there. And its ability to combine all the things we love about a fresh daily wear, what makes it unique from the other fragrances is that it combines all the different styles of perfumery that you love in a fresh fragrance and puts them into one. Most fresh fragrances only do one or two things in their fragrance, and they come off super generic. Lalique White is special. Would you say that Acqua di Parma that you reviewed recently with the Iris Zafferano possibly is similar to Say Less by Day 3? No, the one I reviewed is a little bit more leathery. Say Less truly feels more like a softer version of Dior Homme Parfum or Dior Homme Cologne. Iris fragrances, I feel, Iris dominant fragrances, I feel, will always be connected to one another because Iris is such a distinct note in perfumery that it's almost like I'll give you guys a question, for instance. When you smell Iris in a fragrance, do you not always think about Dior? Like, no matter what. I mean, it doesn't even have to smell like Dior Homme Intense or Dior Homme Parfum. When you smell a lipsticky, makeup-y Iris, I feel like Dior is the Michael Jordan of it. It's just what we all remember, what we all know. There's other fragrances that can compete with or even dethrone Dior Homme and Dior Homme Parfum, but you still think about Dior. Like, if you look at a review, anytime somebody smells strong lipsticky Iris, or even just a faint amount of it, it could be Fleur de Peau, or Narciso Rodriguez Musk, or Musk Ravageur, or something like that. As soon as somebody smells Orris Root or Iris, they'll immediately think or say, you know, like that Dior Homme lipsticky Iris, like this just, it works so connected to Dior Homme now. So I feel like most Iris fragrances, They're all connected in some way. And so because of that, you really have to explore iris. Like I'll give you a great example of this. To me, the holy trinity of iris in the designer world is Valentino Uomo Intense, Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé, and Dior Homme Intense or Parfum. You know, now some people may think all three of those fragrances are the same thing. But to me, I totally view them differently. So with Givenchy, you are getting a whiskey iris. It's a lot more dark, it's chocolatier, it's richer, it's velvetier, and you get this alcoholic coffee kind of undertone to the iris. So the iris feels very much nighttime, sensual iris. It's the king of date night fragrances, right? But then when you go to Valentino Uomo Intense or Valentino Uomo, they have a much more softer, airy Prada Luna Rossa ocean take to the iris, where it's about a deep, pungent iris that's super fresh and super airy. So they're kind of taking a Versace Eros approach to iris, where you can have something that's so fresh that you can wear it all day, but because it's sweet and because it's still intimate, because it's iris to me is an intimacy note. You could dive into nightlife or date night if you had to because of the sweetness, because of the sensual texture of it, but it's mainly a daily driver type of fragrance. And then when you go to Dior Homme, it's a cozy, seductive fall, winter, and or date night fragrance that's very romantic, but it feels more feminine. It's kind of like a man who's wearing lavender or a man who's wearing salmon. You know, pastel light colors is showing his soft side and intimate side. Whereas Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé is more like kind of alpha man, sexy intimacy vibes. So it's kind of like the Dior Homme is in a way the pretty boy romance, and Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé is the bad boy romance. And then Valentino Uomo is the daily driver, super versatile, all-time quarterback iris. But to most people, they would smell all three of those fragrances and be like, I'm just gonna pick my favorite iris because I'm not gonna own any of these other ones because I get the lipsticky feel from all three. Thank you, Bougie, appreciate it, brother. Have you got your nose on the new Dolce & Gabbana EDP and Parfum? No, I have not. I have not yet. We're gonna do a hot takes on the new Dolce & Gabbana, but I have been knee deep in work and have not been able to sneak out on a lunch break and do a hot take for you guys. We'll do a hot take. I try to get in the habit of not reviewing stuff that's being hyped. I'll give it a hot take just so you guys get my immediate thoughts, and then I'll wait a couple months to do the review. So like when Les Exclusifs came out from Bleu de Chanel, and when the new Dior Homme Parfum 2025 came out, and the Burberry Hero Parfum, and a lot of the new releases came out, I waited. You know, even right now, like sitting on my desk, let me show you guys this. You guys know I live across the street from Day 3 Fragrances. I have Midnight Raspberry sitting right here. I had Midnight Raspberry way before it came out in terms of I smelled it months before it came out. I smelled the progression of it being worked on, and I had it when it came out. I gave it away to my subscribers before I even reviewed it. Why? Because so many people had it and were, I don't want to say gassing it up because I haven't done my thorough review of it yet, but so many people before it even came out got it early and said it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. Best possible fragrance of 2025 was the title of every content creator's video on Midnight Raspberry. Me seeing that, I was like, okay, everybody knows I know Michael. I live right next door to the boutique. I don't want to come out because if I love the fragrance, everybody's going to think I'm deriding and not giving the truth, because everybody's not only saying it's good, but are hyping the heck out of it, so much so that they're already claiming in freaking December and January that it's potentially the best release of the year. And so I've been sitting here looking at Midnight Raspberry, wanting to wear it, wanting to review it so badly, and I've even already worn it and already smelled it way before it came out, but I'm waiting because I don't want I want to have an authentic review that's completely independent from everybody else's bias and stuff right now, so that you guys know when I review it, I'm kicking y'all the truth. And ironically enough, this is the only review from the house of day 3 that I haven't done yet. We've reviewed everything, including the discontinued product from that house, and I'm very happy and proud of kind of my work in dissecting that brand and spending the time with it and giving you guys all the nitty gritty, you know. And I actually have a surprise that comes from that house coming toward the second quarter, end of the first quarter, that I truly think will be like, nobody has seen day 3 content like this. That that was another big incentive for changing the production studio, because I'm going to bring you guys something that is needed in the fragrance marketplace from that house. And, but we need to get done with this first, and that one will take some editing. So now, you know, I told you guys, if I had to edit, I would not be doing content because my life is too crazy, but this will be a piece of content that needs to be edited. Have you got your top 3 soapy fragrances? You know, honestly, I don't have a top 3 soapy fragrances. I don't really like fragrances that only smell soap, because it's like, I'll just use soap. Not going to spend $50, $100, $150, $200, $300 on soap when I have soap. You know what I mean? But fragrances that are like light and airy and soapy-ish is like, in my collection, is going to be Acqua di Parma, Colonia Pura, Versace Pour Homme, Dylan Blue, Mont Blanc Legend Spirit, Bulgari Pour Homme, Grey Vetiver, EDP, Silver Mountain Water, Bleu de Chanel EDT, Lalique White, Lalique Lin Sumi Ma Force, Nautica Voyage, Terre d'Hermès. Those are all soapy-ish fragrances. What's the gold cap and orange juice on the top shelf? Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you guys this, but I don't want people going around talking about this, but I am working on a fragrance. And I'm going to leave it at that. And this is a demo of what I'm going after. I can't give you guys any more info than that. That's already spilling way too much of the beans. You guys know I like to share special stuff with you guys who take the time to come into my lives. So there you go. I'm working on a fragrance. Kicks, I gotta send that to you, man. Ralph's Club line is so slept on. I agree. You've been super helpful. Appreciate you taking the time to help me with my questions. That's why we do this, man. Thank you for participating and being here. For me, the Ralph's Club line is okay, considering the price point, but even with that, the price is still not the first thing I'd grab on the end of my day, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, Mike, here's the thing. When I drop my, and guys, really listen up, because this is like super important stuff that I won't be announcing for like another 3 to 4 months. So you're getting kind of the scoop here. But in 2026, I'm launching my membership tier on my channel officially. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it directly, man, that fragrance smells so freaking good. The reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of you guys are paying too much for fragrances. Like, even your favorite discount sites where you think you're getting the best deals are not the best deals. I'm gonna break it down to you. Just to put you in the realm of what I'm talking about here, just today with some of my contacts, just today shopping out in the world, I was able to find full bottle, sealed presentation, mind games, fragrances of every kind, starting at like $160. You guys might think you're finding the best prices on fragrances. You're not. And one of the things I'm gonna reveal to my community, not FragCom, my community, is you guys are gonna have the ability to have a running feed of all of the lowest prices of everything I personally can get my hands on, and being able to find really crazy deals. And the reason I bring that up is because hypothetically here, let's take a fragrance I just bought recently. So I've been kind of filling the void in some of my collections with some things. La Nuit de l'Homme, 100 mil, right? I got this fragrance for $20. One of the best fragrances in the designer world, to me. What's another one I just recently picked up? Somebody said Ralph's Club. Right here. So to me, this is like top 2 best Ralph fragrances. You know, to me, it's Polo Deep Blue, Ralph's Club, and then Polo Green. This is the Ralph's Club Parfum. The elixir and the parfum are really nice for men, not for boys. I got this for like $15, 100 mil. 100 mil full bottle of Ralph's Club. When you get prices that low, yes, Ralph's Club is a great fragrance. If you're paying retail or even discounted prices for Ralph's Club, I would tell you to never buy a Polo or Ralph's Club fragrance at all. The price point isn't justified. Like Mike said, there are so many other fragrances at the $40, $50, $60, $70, $80 price point that I would get before a Ralph's Club fragrance. So one of the things I'm really excited about is with my membership tier, I'm gonna show you guys how to get niche, designer, independent, all that stuff at really dumb prices. And I'm also gonna collaborate with brands and houses to bring you guys great deals on fragrances that are better than what you find out there. That raspberry note is fire. Yeah, it is. Long-lasting gym fragrance. The longest lasting gym fragrance is Soap and Water. Why is Boss Bottled Absolute good? Because it is. Hey bro, I have Lattafa Assad. Can I get your opinion on that? I mean, Assad is kind of like one of the best entry-level cologne fragrances of all time. If you're just starting your fragrance journey and you buy Lattafa Assad, you will be absolutely happy. Once you start to accumulate 20, 30, 40 fragrances, it's still a great fragrance, but you will get bored of the profile. Not meaning you won't wear it, but meaning you won't just be able to keep Assad and stop buying fragrances. You will need to go out and buy other fragrances. I think Assad was a really funny fragrance for me because it took 1 year for it to fully macerate into something that I liked. When I first bought it, I hated it. Not only because it doesn't smell anything like Sauvage Elixir, but because it hadn't macerated and it desperately needed to. 6 months to a year down the road, man, I could still smell this fragrance. Hold on. Kix, if you're still in here, man, text me. I got to get that to you. I try to drop you guys like breadcrumbs and like Easter eggs of what's to come. A lot of you guys didn't even see when I made my community post and said in 11 days the channel is about to change forever. It got 11 likes. So it just makes me laugh because, you know, when this thing takes off, yeah. Anyways, that's why I'm trying to build a special community of people that actually support and are fully invested into watching my content because I know it's really life-changing for them. And I want to build a world-class experience for those people. The general people in FragCom could eat off of my content for years because, you know, we did 1,000 videos last year. We're going to do 2,000-3,000 videos this year. I'm already posting way more than your favorite content creator. So people are always going to be fed. But in terms of like the special stuff I want to bring to the community, I I want to do that to people who really support and follow what we're doing. So I'm going to make a membership tier that's unlike anything out there. And I've been working on that. I've been working on what my membership tier is going to look like for 2 years now. So I've really been patient. I don't need the money, so I can really make it special. But yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, Assad. It needed to macerate for a year for me to enjoy it. Ed Hardy, Skulls and Roses, Eau de Toilette, Cologne for Men. What's your opinion on this product? Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. So yeah. The reason I ask about this iris frag is because I'm looking for a fresh iris like Say Less, but still has a good bit of masculine backbone. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Say Less has masculine backbone? There's a lot of iris in Dior Homme Intense. Yes, there is. There's a buttload of it. Love the content, bro. Got to head out for a bit. Hey, good night, Vinny. Thank you so much for joining me. I bought a budget of 150. Oh, 150 Oz. What is that in dollars, American dollars? What's a good fragrance for that price? What is that in American, Riley? Or USD? Convert it for me, and then I'll let you know. Thoughts on Bad Boy Cobalt? One of the best Bad Boy fragrances out. Very beautiful fragrance. Can you add a deep dive of Histories de Parfums this year? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great house. Man, Histories de Parfums, if I'm saying it right, is on par with Serge Lutens. Those two houses we're going to run through this year. The color of your perfume speaks for itself. Hey, man. Listen, man. I'm very excited about that. As complete as it feels right now, I'm not dropping this anytime soon. Like, it has to be sensational, because the weight of my words in the community is one in which I would never not drop in my eyes what I felt was perfection. And I'm not just going to drop something that smells nice. It has to be, it has to be extremely signature, extremely attention grabbing, among just my taste for note palette and all that stuff. So I'm going to work on it for a few more months. And then, you know, come about 6 months into the year, about second, third quarter, I'll start making my announcements. But I'm very excited about it, and I'm working with the right people. Gucci Pour Homme still is the best for me. Yeah, I mean, Gucci Pour Homme is great. When the moon hits your eye, oh, I don't know what the heck that is. Yo, SB, in due time. Yes, Kicks. Yo, Kicks. I'm telling you, brother. I'm going to send you a 3 ml. What's today? Tomorrow's Sunday. I'll add a 3 ml with your package, Kicks, and send that off to you on Monday. Because I want you to, like, where it's at right now, dude, is so... And the longevity, like... The longevity is scary for the type of scent I'm going for. The longevity is scary. Like right now as I'm talking, I think I sprayed it once in the air. But like in the air right now, the room is softly saturated. It's crazy. You recommended it and I wrote it down and finally got a sample. I wish I had got more from the house. Hey, David, you know, a lot of people say that to me, like, hey, I got a decant of something you recommended and I wish I would have gotten the bottle. That's okay, man. I mean, I still think there are people that email me every month and they're like, hey, I just bought Lin Sumi. I just bought Lin Sumi Force. I just got X, Y, and Z. It could be niche, designer, whatever. And they're like, man, you do not miss. And I really appreciate hearing that. But you know, I say that to say this. There are a lot of people that blind buy based off of my recommendations because you guys have seen me come from the bottom and actually only talk about things that I have and not just go to a Neiman Marcus and act like I know what a fragrance functions like. And I still think it's appropriate to try before you buy and to not just try on a test strip, but to put it on your skin, wear the fragrance the way it was intended to be worn, and spend a day with it and treat it like you just got on the bus with a stranger and start a conversation and see how that relationship pans out. But there are still people who really trust me and buy fragrances. And I swear to you guys, like there's like 40 to 50 people a month that reach out to me saying that they bought something I recommend and they're really appreciative for it. And that's another reason why I take my time doing what I do. But don't be sad that you got a decant, man. Like that's still the proper way to go. You should be decanting. You should be trying stuff. And guys, let me just say this, man. This is the realest thing I'm going to tell you guys. I truly believe that the fragrance world is so spoiled rotten that our excitement about fragrance today is about the first time we try a fragrance and how many fragrances we have on our shelf. And that is so ridiculous. Like, truthfully, what is it about that excites you guys? Like, you should be buying fragrances that blow your mind. You should be buying fragrances that you go look at your fragrance shelf and there's certain fragrances that just demand to be worn. And I may look like the biggest hypocrite as I say this, but you have to understand that I'm a content creator. And even though I'm a content creator, I still like the fact that my collection, and this isn't all of it. I don't try to, dong swing. It's not this is why I don't show you guys all of my collection, because I don't want it to be about what my collection looks like. I want the most valuable thing about my collection to be my voice and how I talk about it and the experiences that I've got. So that's why I don't hang everything up. And that's why sometimes I just go like this and knock it down to 50 bottles for you guys, so you guys will just chill out, because it's not about acquiring bottles. But I really feel like today in FragCom, people buy fragrances a lot because they're not getting their socks blown off. Fragrances are giving you a good thrill for a short period of time, and then they're not exciting anymore, and you're trying to fill that void, and you're just trying to chase that last hit. If your fragrance was like, I'll give you an example, guys, like something really practical to me, right? Me and Kix went half in on Roja's Midsummer's Dream. So that's why I have it in this 50 ml. He got the bottle. When I tell you the level of excitement that I have when I wear this fragrance, and this is so fun to wear and has given me so many experiences in a short period of time, and the way I feel when I wear this fragrance, it demands to be worn. Every week I try to wear a new fragrance because we're creating content, we're trying to learn, and for me, my journey is like, I don't call myself a content reviewer. Like, I'm not a fragrance reviewer. I am on a fragrance journey, and I'm putting a camera on my journey. And I hope that along the way, the stuff that I find out, I can share my experience with you, and you guys will have an amazing journey as well. So that's what I do. My job is not to go around giving reviews, even though I do. I'm reviewing the fragrances because if I'm going to spend time with a fragrance, it's helpful to the world to share my experience, which is why we're completely shifting the content. The reviews are going to go down this year, and we're going to work more on conceptual this year. But when I tell you how much fun I have wearing Midsummer's Dream from Roja, it's a fragrance that like demands to be worn. And I want you guys to have that experience where like your certain fragrances just scream at you, and like the amount of fun you have wearing it and how it changes your mood and impacts your day just gets you excited to wear. And I just feel like a lot of you guys, like you guys are chasing the fantasy stage. And when the fantasy stage goes away and you're just left with the perfume, and you find out that stuff that you were really excited about isn't as exciting because you just didn't take your time, you didn't slow down. I say all that to say this, guys. Slow down. It's amazing to me, a fragrance like Versace Eros. A lot of you guys feel like you've graduated from this fragrance. It is one of the best fragrances ever made. Point blank period. And I feel like a lot of you guys feel like you've graduated from this juice. Everyone's wearing Arrows. You know what? I'm over apple and lavender and vanilla and freshness. No, you're not. I still have an amazing time. Guys, look at this juice. Can we show this on camera? Look at this juice. And thankfully, you know, when we run out of this one, we're going to go after this one. You know, I got an extra 50 to load it back up. But I feel like if you guys would just slow down, you probably have a ton of fragrances you haven't even worn more than like 10 times. Go back to your collection and start spending multiple days with fragrances and stuff. I really feel like a lot of you guys are sitting on some heat, but you're not spending the time with it. You're like chasing these fantasy stages with fragrances, and it's leading you to buy fragrances for the wrong reasons. So a lot of you guys are buying trash. And then if you're not buying trash and you're buying great fragrances, you're still not content and you're continuing to accumulate. You need to just slow down. So I hope when I start doing my conceptual content and talking about fragrances deeper and what they mean to me, and you guys really start to see that like I could close my eyes and tell a million stories about each of these fragrances behind me, I hope that that encourages you guys that like don't look at this and be like, SB is buying fragrances all the time. His collection is mid. I'm going to let the people speak for me because so many people buy fragrances based off my recommendations and stuff. I really spend quality, intimate time with each of my fragrances and wear a lot of different fragrances to really try to see the beautiful things about the experience of wearing a fragrance and speak about that. And what I'm most proud of is that, like, I'll give you an example. When I spoke about Mont Blanc Presence and did a memoir on it, and people thought, you know, this isn't even a fragrance a lot of people buy when they go to Burlington, but it's right there in front of you for $10 to $20. And I went and did a memoir and said, this is one of the best designers ever made. And it's also Mont Blanc's first fragrance they ever came out with. And told you guys you need to go back and give this some respect. And how many emails and DMs I got back saying, you know, I never even dared to try this because when I go into a discounter, I'm always looking at Mont Blanc Explorer and Platinum and all the different variations of Mont Blanc, but I never wanted to try this one. And then I tried it and it's absolutely amazing. That's why we do what we do. Guys, slow down. You have insane fragrances all around you that aren't expensive, that if you just slow down to appreciate them, I feel like we'll end on this. I feel like a lot of you guys are nose blind. You have a juice that could give you an incredible experience, but because you aren't spending intimate time with it and you don't have a way to see it differently, you'll never enjoy it. And when you really think about it on a deep level, if that's the case, no fragrance will please you. You will continue to buy and continue to buy and continue to buy because you're not, it's like having a wife that you just don't spend intimate time with, yet you expect to have a marriage level value and beautiful things going on, but you're not putting in the work and the patience and slowing things down to figure out your significant other so that you can have a deeper connection. Slow down. I'm going to write the blueprint this year, guys, on how to get the most and enjoy your fragrances and how to slow down. And I'm going to paint the pictures for you. All you got to do is stick around long enough to hear it. And I'm going to get people excited about fragrances this year of all kinds. And we're going to tear off the labels and you're just going to see the juice and you're going to have a great time. And that's what I'm excited about this year the most. Just catching up, guys. Give me a second. Almost forgot. When is your Aventus Pineapple Spectrum vid coming? I'm working on it right now. I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping for February. It's called the Pineapple Power Rank. And with the Pineapple Power Rank, I have spectrumed the pineapple DNA into 4 fragrances. Eros Energy, Aventus Cologne, Aventus Absolu, and Nishane Hasavat. That is the spectrum of pineapple. And we're going to take the top 20 clones in the designer and clone category and power rank them from S tier to trash. And I'm going to make a power rank video talking about where all the top 20 clones sit in comparison, and make a conclusion video on what are the only 2 fragrances I think you need to consider outside of the originals. I got Ferragamo Spicy Leather. Thanks to your recommendation. That stuff is incredible. Hey, JX, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, you know, like I said, this year I'm going to let people speak for me. I'm going to put me on that cross, ridicule me, critique the things that I say. Tell the people if I'm telling the truth or if I'm lying. This is a great example. When I tell you guys Spicy Leather is one of the best spicy designer fragrances out there. And if you're into leathers and don't want to be intimidated by terrible leather notes, but you want something that's aggressive while still being super easy on the nose, and I tell you to go out and check out Ferragamo Spicy Leather from a brand that has specialized in leather now for over 50 years. You guys should listen to me. Salvatore Ferragamo started in leather, guys. Or sorry, they did not start in leather. They started in Italian fashion of all kinds, not just apparel, but accessories. And when he died and his family took over the brand, they continued in that heritage of Italian luxury. And the way that they've dealt with leather over the years, to me, this is me and my nose, to me in the designer world, they have handled leather flawlessly. Doesn't matter if you get the original leather, doesn't matter if you get spicy leather, red leather, bright leather, Uomo signature. They have handled leather to perfection. Leather forwardness. There's a ton of fragrances that have leather in them. But leather forwardness, I don't think any designer brand consistently beats out Ferragamo pound for pound. So this is a way to get into aggressive leather, spicy leather, that is so easy on the nose, but is aggressive. I feel like most people want to immediately graduate from designer and go straight to ombre leather or eau de ombre leather or ombre leather parfum or Tuscan leather and things like that. They're good fragrances. They're really good fragrances. Eau de ombre leather, I think, is the best from the house. Tuscan leather, I don't think you should own unless you own some form of Italian leather, real Italian leather. But if you want to get into it affordably, that style, that class, that Italian elegance, Ferragamo Spicy Leather, guys. And back to the whole prices thing about the membership tier when we get into it. I got this for $15. Is it 100 mil? Yes. So I want to show you guys how to do that. Okay. Yeah, my chat's crazy, Rav. Thoughts on Versace Eros Energy? It is very good. That is it. It's not great. It's not special, but it is very good. And a lot of that is because of the fact that, you know, you look at a fragrance like OG Aventus, Aventus Absolu, Aventus Cologne, even Hasavat. It's like, to me, Nishane's Hasavat, I can't even say it this way because it's not true, but I want to say it, guys. I want to say this, but I'm going to self-edit because that's what I'm about to say is not true. It's just how I feel. Pineapple fragrances are almost photocopies of one another in today's world. Now, granted, Creed photocopied their pineapple DNA, but they made something different. Cologne, it has a different function than OG. Absolute has an entirely different function than OG and Aventus. But then in the designer world, you have these photocopies of Aventus. You have your Mont Blanc photocopies of Aventus. You have your Versace photocopies of Aventus. And I can name so many more. Nitro. And in the clone world, it's like a rapid shot clone house, you know, a rapid shot of all of these various clones. Because Eros Energy is essentially a super watered down photocopy of Aventus, it's going to be good. So it's good. But it depends what you're really asking when you ask me how I feel about Eros Energy. Because are you just asking me how it is as its own thing? Or are you asking me if you should have looked for something else? So to answer your question and just take it very literally of if Eros Energy is good or what are my thoughts on it, it is a very good fragrance, and I'll leave it at that. Sorry, SB, I was speaking with Joel, but you are right. I sampled everything. I don't care how much hype or exclusive or how much it costs or who says I should get it. I sample everything, period. David, I think that is the best thing you could ever do, and I salute you on taking your time with fragrances. There are so many fragrances that I fell in love with when I first smelled them, and then I just kept them in the room long enough to smell them again, and the love faded away. It's almost like lust. It's like maybe I was just excited that I had fragrances that week. Maybe I was just excited because I hadn't smelled a strawberry note in a long time and I smelled it. So you fantasy out in the moment and think that you're gonna have longevity with something. But if you just smell it a second, third, fourth, fifth time, or then you go to wear it, something else might happen that dies that passion down and you realize, man, this is good, but I wouldn't buy the bottle. I have a Vegas bachelor party coming up. What should my scent of the day be? Bleu de Chanel Parfum or Aventus? Aventus. Scent of the day, Jet Black Intense by Michael Malone, London. What was my scent of the day? My scent of the day was Amouage Enclave. What are your thoughts on, and by the way, guys, let me know, I know my mic sounds really clear, but am I being too loud? Just let me know, please, in the chat. That would be very helpful. To piggyback on your decanting comment, SB, you helped a lot, and it saved me on Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. I got a 3 ml, and I wasn't impressed. I feel like Terre d'Hermes Parfum has what Tom Ford is missing. What it's probably missing for you in that case is orange. The main difference between Grey Vetiver and Terre d'Hermes is slight smokiness and bitter orange. I actually have both. And they're very close in terms of vibes, but in terms of DNAs, they're significantly different. I really feel like what would make you gravitate towards one or the other here is really your age and where you work. Because if you wear suits or you're 30 to 35 and up and you're dealing with a professional environment, this significantly outclasses this. You could wear both in the business professional setting, but this, I think, outclasses it. Now, if you're 30 and down and your lifestyle is a little more volatile, meaning you can do what you want, your life isn't really typical, maybe you have a job, but you're not, you know, suit and tying it. You work in a job environment where you have work gear or you're more casually or semi-formal appropriate. You're still dating. You haven't locked in a relationship yet. you're still paying a lot of bills, you're still on your way somewhere, this is more fun to wear in that setting. This truly feels suit and tie professionalism. This feels classy at the same level, but more fun because of the orange. It's just brighter and a funner, more personality wear. Whereas this is business. I'm closing a deal, then I'm getting in my Jaguar and I'm driving home. Also, side note, Michael, and by the way, Johnny, I'm glad you decanted. That's the whole point. That's why I always tell people, even as much as I get stuff and I want to say go blind by it, I always say just get your nose on it. It is so fun decanting, guys. I think for a lot of you guys, the problem is you're not decanting enough. You don't have enough in front of you. Get discovery sets, man. Like, dude, when I got the Javoy discovery set, I had a blast. I just sat on my couch smelling 16 different fragrances, and I did it over and over. I took the Decant pack to LA, gave it to Kix, let him smell it, then I smelled it again, then I took it home and smelled it again, then I sent half of it back to him. You know, a 2 ml can give you like 25 sprays. So for a testing scenario, there's a lot of fun to be had. I think you guys just need to get more discovery sets. Don't just get single decants. Like really take 50 to 100 bucks and just go have a blast. I mean, you guys got fragrances to wear, right? You're not missing fragrances. You guys got some juice to wear. Make it about smelling as many things as possible. Yes, I'm over the original Eros, but I like the energy version. Also want to try the Najim. They're both good, Jeff. Najim's completely different. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the Eros line has done bad. I mean, all of them smell good. You know what I'm saying? So try them. Scent of the day, the Kingdom from Lattafa. It's a banger. I try to tell you. I'm done with clones this year. I've had enough clones already. Well, that's exciting, Jeff, because now you get to explore another side of the coin. And that's always a great thing. So far, I have some fragrances. You have, definitely not close, but all of them are bangers. Mike, let's get you some more bangers this year. Y'all have to try YSL Tuxedo. Tuxedo's a beautiful fragrance. Anytime I got, that's funny. Anytime I don't take SB's advice, I end up disappointing myself. Well, hey man, you gotta, you know, sometimes you gotta bump your head too. I just got my nose on Carolina Herrera Bad Boy EDT. It smells woody and aromatic like a blue fragrance. Not too bad. Very young man-like thoughts. If you tried Bad Boy EDT, try Cobalt. I mean, I think the Carolina Herrera line is consistent enough to where there's not like a bad Carolina Herrera, but I definitely think Cobalt stands out to me. Thoughts on Versace Eros Najim? Solid fragrance. It's not really my tea, but it's a very well-made fragrance. I definitely think you should try it because it's unlike Flame, Energy, and Original. At this point, I can legitly only have 5 fragrances that I know I love for the rest of my life, but now it's become more of a hobby, so I get more. For me, it's about the journey. And I was just talking to Kix about this about a month ago. I told him, I said, hey man, I'm realizing that for me, when I accumulate fragrances, I get the most joy out of discovery. So for me, my collection reflects discoveries. It's not about, oh, I wear this for that and that for this. Yes, I have tons of fragrances that I could tell you that about, and I do. But for me, more than just having this collection, it's about discovering and learning about fragrances and the people that make them and all the effort and energy that goes into them. Because there's times where somebody's story about a fragrance makes the fragrance smell better. And that's a concept I think a lot of you guys take for granted. If you know about a house and what went into a fragrance, like I'll give you an example. Apollonia from Xerjoff. if you just smelled that fragrance, you would think, man, this is a typical musk done in a niche way. Musk, iris, orris, whatever. But if you knew, okay, they tried to capture this idea of space and the moon's crust and the atmosphere of space, and it was tied to the, I heard Rav talk a little bit about this earlier. He gave me even more insight to the fragrance. I'm not going to quote him entirely because I don't want to be inaccurate about it. It'd be a great thing to follow up on in the future. But as he talked about what the people involved, the specific people involved with the fragrance, I'm telling you, for some strange reason, when you know that information and then you smell the perfume and connect the story, it makes the perfume smell better to you. It makes you more excited to wear it because it adds to the experience. I only get what SB recommends, facts. So far, I haven't been disappointed at all. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. Carolina Herrera Bad Boy EDT is my signature scent. Yeah, I really feel like Bad Boy doesn't really miss. YSL Myself is fire. It is pretty good. What's your opinion on Mancera French Riviera? I'm almost done on my Mano Fraiche, and I'm looking to try one that is a daily driver. Mano Fraiche is significantly different than French Riviera because French Riviera is a somewhat hotel, 5-star tropical vacation type of beach scent. And you have a couple of different options that I would point you to. I would point you to Sunkissed Island from TLTG. I would point you towards Del Mar from Day 3 Fragrances. I would point you towards Bonnie from Day 3 Fragrances. I would point you towards Mango Skin from Wilhelm. I would point you to Xerjoff's Herba Gold. I would point you to Initio's Musk Therapy. A lot of those scents carry that breath of vacation. Some of them are tropical, some of them are more hotel, Byredo-ish, but yeah, those would be significant upgrades for Mano Fresh. I truly feel like Mano Fresh is not a tropical scent. It smells like a swimming pool. So it's somewhat outdoorsy, poolside, but it doesn't have the whole spread of the tropical feel. It's not a tropical fragrance at all. It's the most basic aquatic scent. It's still great, but it and French Riviera are doing two different things. French Riviera is trying to give more of a sweeter, elevated tropical experience, while the other one's just trying to capture the pool. Mano Fresh was designed to smell like a swimming pool. Mancera Musky Garden is a really good one too. Okay. YSL Tuxedo is way better than Ombre Leather. I don't think so. I think they're just two completely different things. Eau de Ombre Leather Parfum, those fragrances are designed for business professional. You know, Tuxedo is a fancy professional date fragrance, you know, fancy schmancy date romance, seduction. Ombre Leather is not meant to seduce. Lee says, at what point of your life did you start taking fragrances seriously to the point of collecting, or did it fall upon you without thinking about it? No, I thought about it a lot, Lee. You know, it started, you know, I wore the same 5 or 6 fragrances for almost 20 years. And then it started out like this. I went to a Sephora and I smelled Jimmy Choo Man Intense and I want to say Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé, something like that. And I bought both of them. And then when I got home, the algorithm saw somehow that I purchased fragrances. And then when I went on YouTube that day, I saw a video that said top 20 clones of niche fragrances. And I had 2 questions. I said, 1, what the heck is a clone? And 2, what the heck is a niche? And 100 videos later, in that same day, I realized there was this whole other world out there that you could get access to affordably. Then as I got in primarily through the clone space, while owning about 8 designers, felt enamored in this world of not necessarily buying clones, but fragrances that were trying to imitate, oh, like this fact, oh, there's fragrances that cost between $200 and $2,000. Can I smell them? Where are they? Who made them? Why have I never heard of this? And that put me into this rabbit hole of clones and designers. Then I went to Sephora and Ulta and smelled every designer fragrance. Then I went to Neiman's and Saks and Bloomingdale's and smelled every niche fragrance because I had to see, are the clones like the originals? What are the originals? What are the houses? What is all this experience that I've never had? And then I started hearing about the stories and the houses and their approach and the materials, and it just led to this giant YouTube fixation that got me excited about discovery. And then from there it pivoted to vintage and heritage houses and all that stuff. And then I traveled and started meeting people, and then the community got me on fire, you know. But the reason for the YouTube channel, that side is just the collecting side. The YouTube thing was when I had my second son, I had to take a lot of time away from work because I was so vested in that first year of my second son and all his needs. So I couldn't really get in this office that you guys see me in a lot, and I had just bought this house. And so a couple years ago, I said, you know what? I'm gonna take 15 minutes a night and just talk about fragrances. I don't even know why I did it. I think it was kind of like for sanity. Just to say I did something that day other than work 9 to 5 and come home, cook, put the kids down, spend time with my wife, like something for me, you know? And so I came into my room for 15 minutes every single night just talking about a fragrance, and I saw how big the community was and that people actually thought I had something to say, which was like, wow, that's incredible. And then I just kept going. I said I was gonna do it just for a year until my son was 1. And 1 came and the community was already like 1,000 plus and growing. And I said, okay, I think I might be onto something. And with my background in teaching and art and hip hop music and all that stuff, I just thought I could bring a different perspective to the game. So, you know, I just kind of let it fly, you know? And I'm so glad that I didn't back then make money from doing this, because it really freed me to just really be a hobbyist with it. I want to get 6 decants of Zaharoff to try. What would you suggest? You pick, I purchase. 30 years old, banking finance profession, make them well-rounded, already got signature pour homme and XXX. I think you need to try Seamless Soul. I think you need to try Signature Tobacco. I think you need to try see, I'm not a good Zaharoff reference. You need to try Ibere. So Seamless Soul, Ibere, Signature Tobacco, and screw it. Try Sunkissed Island. Try the Z Creators. Try the Z Creators, all 3. Try Signature Tobacco and maybe sprinkle in some Seraphine Blue or something. I wore French Avenue Aether Atlantis. It legit lasts 15 hours. Plus I sprayed it yesterday around 7 a.m. and now it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I still smell whiffs, and I want to try Wave Child now. Wave Child is a beautiful scent. Joel will tell you. He has 1015 Wave Child. It's a great watermelon fragrance. I love Versace, Kenneth Cole Black, scent of the day, Dior Homme EDT 2020. Can't wait till it macerates. I can't wait till it macerates for you. Do you think a full bottle of Wave Child is worth 14 bucks? I don't think you can get a full bottle of Wave Child for 14 bucks, Jeff. If you're talking about a clone, then I would say no. Thoughts on Derek Jeter's Driven? Haven't smelled it, Corey. Haven't smelled it. I'm about to do a blind buy of Claude Marceau Le Melodie. I haven't tried it. Haven't tried it, Jimmy. Hey guys, I am getting super tired. I need to shower. I need to get in bed. I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to ask any last minute questions. I'm not gonna go take a piss with this mic on because you will hear every ounce of it, but I'm gonna step off and go get a drink and give you guys 1 minute to ask all your last minute questions. So type them in and we will get back, wrap up, and head out. Again, if you're new to the channel, please, I beg of you, subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you guys spend a week with me, see the type of content I drop. Check out my playlist section. I've organized the entire channel like a TV guide. So if you want to binge watch clone stuff or designer stuff or niche stuff, or my podcast or my interviews or my collabs, they're all sorted out really conveniently for you to just binge watch those particular types of content. The algorithm will pick up what you're enjoying and kind of direct you around my channel. But if you have any last minute questions, this is your time to do it, and I'm gonna give you guys a minute to do that. Again, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me for my live tonight. Make sure that you guys subscribe and stay tuned because we do hit different milestones on the channel and you have the opportunity to win stuff like this. This is a 12-pack of Goldfield and Bank Specific rock moss. The first giveaway we did, we gave away something like 32 full bottles of fragrance. The second giveaway, we did 3 vintage bundles that included niche fragrances and vintage fragrances. This time I'm going to try to do niche only bundles for the next giveaway, which stay tuned because we always make announcements on how to get that. We have an insane amount of new original content coming this year. And guys, starting next week by around Tuesday, Wednesday, as I said in my announcement, the channel will change forever. So if you want to see what that's about, which part of my hint for what that's going to be is in the picture of this live, as well as the upcoming saved video titled "We Made It to 4K." If you want to stay tuned for what's about to change for the channel, it's going to be really significant. Like I said, everything you've seen about this channel will change starting next week. So subscribe, stay tuned, keep the notification bell on. Try to stay locked in with my content frequently because if you don't, the algorithm's gonna find you searching up, you know, dog whistles and all the random stuff you search up and Kai Cenat and all that, and it's gonna take you away from the channel. So make sure you're checking in regularly to see what's going on. But next week is gonna be a week that you do not want to miss out on because I'm gonna be making some very huge announcements that will change the channel as well as what you can expect on my channel going into the new year. And I'll have an announcement video, and that's already in the video section. If you look now, you can already turn on the notifications for it. It's called We Made It to 4K. So make sure you save that video to stay tuned. Again, the only reason why I do this Q&A is to answer questions. So if you're not asking questions, I sign off. But thankfully, you guys always have a ton of great questions. I clip them, and the clips from these Q&As are single-handedly why we are about to approach my first 1,000,000 views. So I want to show you guys something real quick before I sign off. Let me see if I can pull up my analytics. So that will be another major milestone of the channel, is my first 1,000,000 views. Let's go to lifetime. Oh, wow. Wow, guys, look at this. We actually already hit it. We hit our first 1,000,000 views for the channel. So guys, I want to thank you so much for this. This is an amazing milestone. I really appreciate it. All you guys interacting and watching the content. We have finally hit 1,000,000 views on this channel. Wow, that's awesome. That's really special. Wow. Okay. Well, with that being said, thank you guys so much for getting me to 1,000,000 views on the channel. I'm so appreciative for the community. It's cool to see numbers like 1,000,000, but I immediately think about, you know, the people that interact on my channel. A lot of you guys don't know this, but I check my analytics all the time, and I'm checking to see who's commenting, who's interacting, who's participating on the channel the most. And I try to build my channel experience around those people. So thank you to everybody who contributed by staying locked into the content, commenting, liking, being critical of the channel so that we can grow, because that is what I care about a lot more than the 1,000,000 views. But I am thankful that the channel is growing because we're continuing to build and find people that are getting value from what I'm bringing to the space. And so, guys, 1,000,000 views is awesome. And we're gonna quadruple that this year. I have a very ambitious goal of hitting 20K. And I think we're gonna easily do that. We're on trajectory to do well over 20,000 subscribers this year. And I'm just gonna keep working hard, take it one day at a time, continue to post quality content, and continue to focus on bringing maximum value to the people that watch and support, and continue building out an incredible fragrance experience for you guys. Again, thank you so much. If I didn't answer any of your questions tonight that you had, please copy paste your question into the comment section of this video when the live ends, and I will get back to you within a 24-hour period very quickly. I try to have a 100% response rate to my channel. There will never be a comment that does not get responded to. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm gonna go take a shower and sign off for the night. I hope your guys' weekend was awesome. Your New Year's, your Christmas. We're gonna get crazy this year, guys. And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and showcase all that. We're gonna lay the blueprint down on the way this fragrance community should look, and we're gonna build it from the ground up. So thanks so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. And until next time, hope you guys enjoyed the new production setup with the mic and everything. And really appreciate you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night.